It's pretty common knowledge around the world these days that the best way for you to be able to leverage your knowledge is by building an e-course, an online program, a hybrid course, or writing an ebook, or something that is going to create some kind of digital platform or digital footprint in order for you to be able to help the people that you want to be able to help. But the next problem that usually arises for most people is, how the heck do I even structure that? How do I build it out? What process do I need to follow? So that is some of the stuff that I would really love to share with you today. Biggest things that get in the way of people actually creating their e-course, their course, their curriculum, their book, or even a workshop is the fact that they get so caught up in, well, what am I going to share? What am I going to say? How am I going to do this? What structure do I follow? So this is a bit of a way that I wanted to step you guys through the way that I process this and the way that I literally build out every course, every program, everything that I have created since 2010. The very, very first step to making all of this stuff happen is going, all right, well, and this is going to sound kind of obvious, but what is the outcome that people need to get in order to achieve a result with you? So is it that they need to be able to make more money? Is it that they need to be able to go forward with knowledge? Is it that they are going to have weight loss? Is it having a better mindset? What is the end goal that your people are working through this to achieve? Now, in order for you to be able to know that most people want usually like one of three things. They want more time, they want more money, or they want like more health or a better mindset, better lifestyle, that type of stuff. Like that category is all rolled up into one. So if you think about the things that your people are trying to work through and trying to achieve, what does it look like for you? What does it look like for your people? What is it that they really want? And then the next thing that I go is like, okay, so I take out a blank piece of paper. I'm like, all right, if that's the end goal, like what is the very, very first thing that they have to have absolutely sorted and be crystal clear on before we can even take the next step? So for my people, it's usually about getting themselves out there and getting more clients and using marketing to be able to do that, having an online presence. So what needs to happen right at the start? So for me, the very first thing that I get anybody to do before we get into strategy or tactics is, all right, what is it that you want? What are you driving towards? What are you trying to achieve? The next thing is usually, all right, what do you want to be known for? You've got to get that sorted. What's your zone of genius? What is your area of expertise? How are you going to create a marketing message that resonates with the people that you want to be able to work with and help? Like that's usually all of those steps are kind of taken care of in the first step of everything that I do. So what does that first step look like for you? And then if you were to break the rest of your process down, what I usually do is I get another piece of paper then for step 2, and I'm like, this is what it needs to be. So who are you talking to is usually the next step that I take people through. So this is how I would teach that. And then I write down some main dot points of things that I need to talk about. And it's like, all right, well, if that's still the game and they've got that, like what's the next thing that they need to learn? And I start building it up that way. So that way I know that everything that I'm teaching is geared towards my clients achieving that end result. Now, if your end result is weight loss, yes, you're going to have to do some education around food and, maybe fridge audits and stuff like that, checklists, recipes, whatever. But usually, like I would imagine, the first thing that you need your people to determine is, what is your goal? How much do you want? How much weight do you want to lose? How do you want to feel? Why is this important to you? So getting that really clear. And the next step is probably some mindset things that have to be done before you start even teaching them how to measure their weight, how to document it, how to keep a daily food diary, how to measure your macros. Like they need to know, first of all, what the right mindset is that they need to have. They need to be able to look out for self-sabotaging behaviors. They need to know how to recalibrate themselves personally rather than relying on you. But then you also want to teach them how they can draw upon you for support if that's what you're selling. The next thing that you might get them to do is go, all right, let's just do an audit on exactly where you're at. Because until people know where they're at, they don't know how they're going to get to where they want to be. So how much do you weigh? What does your food intake look like right now? What's your workout look like? How much water are you drinking? Now, how many snacks are you having? Like, getting them to document all of the things is something I think that's probably really important. So you can see, like, they're like the first 3 steps. So that would form the first 3 steps of your program or your book or your e-course. Now, there are lots of micro steps within all of those. Like, I know that, you know that. So this is where in your plan on each separate piece of paper for each step, you'll start jotting down, right, well, what do I need to do in order to be able to do that? Are there checklists that you need to create? Is there a video that you need to put together? Is there something else that you need to do, some kind of tool or an audio or a workbook or a book you need to send them? What is it that you need to include in that first module? And then you'll get into module 2 or step 2 and then into module 3 or step 3 and then keep building it up from there. What ends up happening is you find that there's usually probably, maybe 5 to 7 steps that people need to go through in order to get a result with you. At that point, you kind of look at it and go, wow, like if I'm to teach someone all of this, there is a whole lot of value in that. And then you can start to think, all right, well, how much am I actually willing to do this work for? How much, and that's when the pricing conversation comes in, yeah? Because you start to see the framework that you're pulling people through. You start to get a really clear idea of the actual value that you're giving someone. Now, in this weight loss example, in this health example, this is freaking life-changing. You are potentially completely changing the trajectory of this person's whole entire life, of how they're going to feel, how they're going to look, how confident they're going to feel, how empowered their mindset is going to be, how much easier it's going to be for them to reconnect with their husband or the partner or find a new spouse or run around with their kids or do whatever the heck it is that they want to do. It's really freaking powerful. Whether you're selling weight loss, mindset, money mindset, lawyers, if you're helping people with family law, if you're a chiropractor, there's different ways of you being able to pull people through your stuff. But the first part is really getting clear on how you're actually going to structure it and then how you're going to price it. So that's usually how I do it. Then the next phase of all of this is going, okay, so this is the kind of thing, this is really cool, this is going to be freaking awesome. How do you want to deliver that? Is it about creating some pre-recorded videos? Is it delivering it live? Is it doing it via a workshop? Is it being in person? Is it creating something where it's just checklists and templates and maybe some audio files? Or maybe you're going to do this and put it all through a Facebook group that's run live rather than doing any pre-recording of anything. The big question here is, how do you want to run it? Because that is going to define, I guess, how you roll that out, how you market that, how you enroll new people into this program that you're going to create. The thing that you want to be aware of, though, is it's really important to test it. So get out there, test it, see what you like. You might decide to run it all online and then freaking hate it. Like, that's fine. Adjust, make a new decision, try something different. The other thing that you can take into consideration is, what is the feedback that your people are giving you? What kind of results are they getting? Is delivering it online really the best way for them to be able to get a result based on what you're charging? So they're just some things to think about. The bottom line, though, is make sure that you're building up your content at a foundational level and then kind of stacking the next thing on and then stacking the next thing on and then stacking that next learning on. Make sure you keep circling back and tying it all in, because even in this weight loss example, if you don't deal with mindset and self-sabotage, first of all, you know that when it comes to exercising and if they're going and hiding, you've done them a disservice if you don't teach them the mindset stuff. So it's got to be all kind of circular and tie and all loop back in. All right. Now, if you've got any questions about this, or if you would love some help doing this, then please feel free to reach out. We can have a chat and see if it's appropriate for us to work together. And if it is, then awesome. I can let you know what that looks like. Otherwise, go kick some major ass. Go help a lot of people. And I will see you really soon. Bye.